Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Windows and I'm going to go Reset Essentials, clean up the workspace here. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to choose number 1 from the Artboard menu. And what we're going to do first is we're going to select the very left rectangle over here on the edge of the Artboard. And then what we're going to do in the swatches panel, go ahead and grab the swatches panel. And what we're going to do is we are going to select a texture. And the texture, if you go down to the bottom here where it says the library, we're going to go to Patterns, Basic Graphics, and then we're going to choose Textures. And then you'll see this box comes up, and what we're going to select is the one that says Sticks. And you'll notice how it gave that texture to that box. And so this is the way that if you have various textures either in your swatch library or you go to grab them from the various swatches that they have listed here for you. And you can also create your own texture swatches to also put into that panel. So now we're going to create our own pattern. And so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to click on the yellow leaf up above. And then I'm going to go choose object. And then we're going to go to pattern. And we're going to go make. And now you can see that a new pattern has been added to the swatch panel. And we have the yellow leaf showing up over here. And then what I'm going to do in the pattern options, if you go to Window Pattern Options, I'm going to click OK. I'm going to go to Window Pattern Options. And if that doesn't show up here, but you have the Pattern Options menu right here. And you can see that this is the main pattern that I started out with, and you can see the series of other leaves here that are slightly more transparent. And so with the leaf shape selected, I'm going to change the fill color to forest green swatch in the tree logo color group. So I have it selected. And I go over here and you can see this is a tree logo and I'm going to choose forest green. Now you can see that all the colors have changed, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it an 80% opacity. And you notice that everything has become slightly less transparent. Okay, and then watch what happens when I take this leaf and I just move it slightly to the left. Okay, and kind of moves everything there. And we're going to select the Symbols panel icon to open that panel. And it's already selected there, so here it is. And we can see that we have the various leaves in there. So what I'm going to do is right over, if you hover over, you have the medium and large leaf. So I am going to go ahead and drag the medium, drag the medium leaf just to the right of this leaf here. And then I'm going to take the smaller leaf and drag it down to the bottom here. And you can see now how you have a whole different look to how the pattern swatch will work. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, holding down my Shift key, select these 3 so that they're all in a group. And now you can see the pattern up here in the pattern options grid. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go size tile to art, and you can see how it's spread them all out. And I can also change the spacing by clicking the pattern tile tool button. And I can change the H spacing. We're going to change it to -18. Now we're going to change the V spacing to a -18. And you can see how it also changes the spacing by making them overlap more. But we're going to go back and change these to 0. I just wanted you to see how you can make these changes. And then you're going to see, and then for overlap, we're going to click the button, the front button, to see the changes. And you can see the different changes, but we want to go to the front, bottom, and front button. And the artwork may begin to overlap. And just make sure that that's working. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go hex by column. And now you can see the overlapping that takes place. So when we're done here, we can go ahead and select done up here. And it also tells us that this pattern contains some active content, and do you want to continue, and then we'll just click OK. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to apply that pattern to this existing artboard here. And if you look here, there's our new pattern that we just created. Click on it, and now you'll see that the leaf pattern has now taken over this particular object. Okay, so now if you want to edit this object, we're going to go ahead, and what you can do now is in the control panel, you're going to change, keep this deselected first, and you're going to change this to forest green. Okay. And we're going to select all 3 of the green leaves. And we do that by going back into the swatch panel and double clicking. And you'll see that our leaves have come up. So now with the selection tool, I'm going to go V key on my keyboard. And you can select each one of these leaves independently. So we're going to take the smallest leaf and we're going to make that at 30%. And we're going to select the medium-sized leaf and we'll make that at 40%. And then we'll leave the other one the same. So you can see the different opacities here right now. And then we're going to click the shape off at the left end of the, we're going to double click the scale tool. And what we want, and this will probably be showing up at 100%, but you're going to change the uniform to 90%. And transform patterns will be selected. So then you click done to get back to the original artboard. And then we're going to go ahead and click on the artboard now that has the leaf pattern on it. And we're going to double click on the scale tool. And you're going to want to make sure that this is at 90%. And we want the scale corners and strokes deselected. And we want transform objects deselected. But we want to keep transform patterns on. And then click OK. So now on the artboard you can select the yellow leaf, going to the select tool, and you can delete that. Okay, so now we want to make sure everything is showing in the artboard. If not, just show all, active on the choose object, show all. And anyways, I'm going to select on the artboard right below here. And we're going to go object, show all. But before we do that, what we want to do is we want to go to the layers panel and turn the eye icon next to the sign text. And now we have show all coming up. And then we're going to choose object and show all, so everything is showing right now. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to be working with Live Paint. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to select Artboard 5, which will look like this. And so with your selection tool, go select all active on the artboard. And we're going to select this first shape here. And with the Live Paint tool, which is found underneath the Shape Builder tool, we're going to select that. And again, select all active on artboard here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up our swatch panel again. If it's not showing, go ahead, you can find it here. And in the swatch panel, we are going to click on the swatches that say Logo 2. Or the tree logo in the swatch panel. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to, actually I think it was the color group 1 that we had, but anyways, logo 2 should be there. And then if you go ahead and select whatever color you want there, if you notice when you come over and click here, it's going to go ahead and do a paint in that area, okay? And then we can go and select the lime green color and paint in the area of the tree. Then you can select the brown, and you can just go select the brown. That's what color they selected. And then what you want to do is you want to select the none from the stroke color in this panel. And then I'm going to go back. And you'll notice that now the colors on the strokes will come up like so. And you can see that I don't have any strokes showing in there. Now, another thing you can do as well is when you pick these colors, for example, and then I can, I can choose no stroke here as well. Or I can go back and change other colors of the stroke. And what you can also do, which I'd like to show you here, is I can go in and using my left or right arrows, I can change the colors of what I want to color. So you have the different color combinations here that allow you to change the different colors. Now you can also work on modifying a paint group. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to show you is we're going to go ahead and drag this tree over. Get it there. Okay, and then I'm going to hold down my Shift key and select all the objects. And then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go merge Live Paint. Now once I merge them all together, I can go back to my Live Paint tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the orange and paint it in here. And then I'm going to select the white and paint it in the part that overlaps here.